This lesson is on angles. Angles are a measure of the rotational space between two rays. So here we have a vertex and two rays, so they extend from the vertex. You have an initial side, the side where the angle begins, and then to the vertex, and then to the terminal side. The terminal side marks the end of the angle. So a positive rotation takes an angle from 0 degrees and then increases as you go around and goes all the way to 360 degrees. So a positive angle goes counterclockwise, and you'll notice that at 0 you could go the other way clockwise, and that would be negative. So you can see the angle measure changing accordingly. So notice that an acute angle is an angle less than 90 degrees. Once you hit 90, there's 90, and then there is between 90 and 180, which is obtuse. Anything up to 180 right there, that's a straight angle. And then you've got bigger angles, which are reflex angles. So you'll notice that once you pass that, then you could be measuring the other angle here. So we can view this same construction in a coordinate plane. And you can see that we're looking at a unit circle here. That means it's 1 unit around, and it's a coordinate plane. So you've got your initial side starting at 1, or somewhere on the x-axis. Your vertex is at the origin at 0, and your terminal side is somewhere along the circle. Now, an angle in standard position is an angle like this, so that the initial side is on the x-axis and the vertex is at the origin. So the initial side is on the positive side of the x-axis. So this is all standard form, but you'll notice that you can travel through all the quadrants: quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Now you may be wondering, hey, what happens if I travel past 360? Well, it keeps adding and adding and adding and adding, and you can keep winding this up forever and ever. Look at the angle, it's getting massive. So all of those angles, say for example right here, that angle is the same as if I had just gone up the first amount, which is about, say, approximately 45 degrees, half of 90, right? So all of those angles are coterminal. So let's unwind this back again, and you'll notice that this could go backwards as well. So you can have coterminal backwards angles spiraling the whole way. So negative big angle, negative, say around 1400, will be the same as a 45 degree angle, approximately there. So you can play around with this, but the idea is that coterminal angles share the same terminal side, however they are of different magnitude. So you'll notice here you've got your quadrantal angles. You've got your 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, 270, 360. So those are all good angles to know, but the question is, how do we figure out what coterminal angles are? Well, let's consider looking at the angle we have right now in this picture. We have the angle of 142 degrees. So if the question is to find coterminal angles, what would we do? Well, how do we move this arm all the way around so that it's back again? Well, isn't that the same as just adding 360? So what would that be? 142 plus 360 would give you 502. And that's approximately right there, 502. We were pretty close. So could we keep going? What if we added another 360? You'd have 862. All right, does that work? 862. That's there again. And you can see we could add 360 again, and we'd get 1222, and so on. Well, now if we want to unwind it, we could subtract 360. We'd have to subtract it so many times until we get back to, say, here. So what should this be at? Well, we wanted it to be the same as 142, but so first we would need to subtract the 360 away from this until we get back to 142. But we could have taken 142 and we could have minus 360. And what do we get? If we minus 360, we're going clockwise, and that becomes negative 218. So let's see if that is the same. Negative 218, that's approximately where we need to be. And you could keep minusing 360 as many times as you like, and you'll still be landing in the same position. So that's the idea of a coterminal angle. So in general, coterminal angle can be defined by saying if you have angle A, a coterminal angle to angle A will be A plus some number times 360, where n is in integer. Now there's also a difference between complementary angles and supplementary angles. You may know that complementary angles add up to 90 degrees, and supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. But here's a neat way of thinking about it if you ever forget. Say somebody's all happy and perky and they're having a great time. They're standing up straight, 90 degrees to the ground. You compliment them. So angles that are adding up to 90 are complementary angles. Now, say someone's sleeping or is passed out. They're making a 180 degree angle with the ground. Don't you think they need a supplement? So the angles between here that add up to 180 degrees are referred to as supplementary angles.